Hello, everyone, and welcome to webinar number 32, The Healer's Journey. Who are the thought adjusters? I don't know if you've ever researched this, but you can certainly do a search for it and find out a little bit more about the thought adjusters. But I thought we would just begin our conversation today to see what we can discuss about that. I'm Rosemary Levesque. I am the author of Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. I am Reiki Master, Shaman, Psychic Intuitive, Vibrational Sound Master Teacher as well. And this is my dog, Gracie. I have this quote here from a book called The Keys of Enoch, the Book of Knowledge. We will not suffer the negative irradiation or excessive ultraviolet radiation that will bombard places of the earth, for we will inhabit the safe zones at the time of the great geophysical upheavals. And the quote continues, the thought adjusters are now correcting and repairing our blood crystallization levels of ionized consciousness through frequency attunement. This is the making of a people within a people, and a mind of light within a mind of light. With this change, the physical flesh, the temple of the higher garment, will receive a new garment of light. So that's an excerpt from The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak. Now, I'm going to go back here and we'll just talk about that a little bit. What does it mean that we will not suffer the negative irradiation or excessive ultraviolet radiation bombarding Earth? Well, we know that excessive radiation is happening everywhere, right? Especially from nuclear disasters, like we've seen in Japan and in Russia and in other places around the world. There's also a thinning of our ozone layer, so we're getting more ultraviolet radiation, more ozone, more pollutants in our earth. And so we are not going to suffer that negative effect. Why not? Because the thought adjusters are correcting and repairing our blood through frequency attunement. Now let's talk just for a moment about what frequency attunement is. Now I've shared with you in the past, and I have on my website on secondnaturehealing.com, there's an audio rendition of crickets. There are two tracks playing at the same time. Crickets recorded in normal time, and the sound of crickets recorded slowed down tremendously. And what you hear is a different kind of sound. You hear a almost like singing, like angels in the choir singing, and this is what the crickets sound like when their sound is slowed down. We also know that sound is important for the functioning of other things happening in the world. Dolphin sounds are needed for coral reefs to develop, certain coral reefs. And bees and other insects are responsible for the flowering of certain plants. Now, those are the ones, or a few of the ones we know about. What about the ones we don't know about? What about the other frequencies that are happening all around us? What about the beating wings of a hummingbird? What about the wind? What about the sound of the ocean waves? All of these beautiful sounds that the earth creates and actually is made physical by sound. So how are we getting this frequency attunement, we're getting a frequency attunement by natural sounds as well as deliberately induced natural sounds like solfeggio frequencies, crystal bowls, tuning forks, singing, using our voice. All of these vibrations are frequencies, even the ones you can't hear, but the ones you can feel are frequency attunements for us. So this is a making of a people within a people. We are, if we are being attuned to frequencies, there are certain among us who are accepting and receiving those frequency attunements. We are a mind of light within a mind of light. So we are the ones that are becoming a little bit different because of these attunements. We are not going to suffer those physical effects because we are being attuned. Interesting, isn't it? So with this change, the physical flesh, the temple of the higher garment, will receive a new garment of light. What does that mean? We in our physical flesh are going to be vibrating at a different level. We're going to look different. We're going to feel different. We're going to speak differently. We're going to do different things because we are accepting this frequency attunement. Interesting, isn't it? So how do you feel and what do you say about money? How do you feel and what do you say about time? How do you feel and what do you say about feelings and emotions? Your physical state, events, other people. Do you find yourself feeling like there isn't enough money, or money is precious, or money is, fill in the blank, money is the only way to show success? What about time? Oh, I never have enough time. My time is so limited. Or what about feelings and emotions? How do you feel about how you're feeling? And what do you say about how you're feeling? Do you ask somebody how they're feeling and they say, oh, hanging in there? Or maybe they'll say, well, I'm okay, or not so good. Or they'll go into a list of their symptoms. Or maybe just not, they'll be neutral about it. What people say about how they're feeling or what they're emoting really does matter. What about your physical state? I'm fine. Are you really fine, or are you excellent? Are you vibrant? Are you, again, fill in the blank. What are you saying about your physical state? Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm not pretty. I'm too this or that. What about events in your life? Are you pointing out all the crises that are happening, all the things that are going wrong? What are you saying about other people? Are you positive or are you finding fault? These things matter. What are you saying and feeling about all of these things that doesn't express the highest vibration of your self, your higher self? You might catch yourself when you're saying some of these things. Your state of being, do you emit the vibration of light? Are you shining? How can that be? You can tell the difference if you're around somebody who's shining and somebody who's not shining. Right? You can tell if they're glowing, if they're happy, they're smiling, they're moving in a fun way, their posture is taller, they look directly at you, they're much more vibrant right? But the ones who are not emitting the vibration of light, you might notice that their posture is a little bit slouched, or they're not looking at you, or they're not smiling, or they're not paying attention to what you're doing in some way. And so maybe they're not emitting a high vibration of light. So notice, what is your state of being? Are you engaging in conversation, or are you avoiding it? Your state of being does matter. And what we say and do as humans, what is it? Well, we have a preoccupation with self-destruction. We have a preoccupation with limitations and isolation. I hear it all the time. I don't have enough money. I can't do this. I live within my means. That's a limitation in itself, right? Or I can't go there. I can't do this because of this physical limitation that I have. I don't like being around people, or the world is falling apart and I can't eat that because it makes me feel bloated, or it goes on. I don't have to give you so many examples, but what we say and do as humans shows our preoccupation with these limiting, isolated, destructive beliefs that we have. I hear it all the time. It is squeezed into conversations all the time. It's coming from, if we were to come from abundance rather than scarcity, things would be different. If we came from an idea of there is more than enough of everything, rather than an idea of, gosh, I better do something now because there isn't enough. There's a fear of missing out, a fear of losing, a fear of not enough. Well, there's a difference in what you come out looking like. Are you showing your light? Are you putting on your garment of light? And this is actually something that the Book of Enoch talks about as Homo Universalis, citizens of humanity. Ponder that just for a moment. Citizens of humanity come from abundance rather than scarcity. Citizens of humanity have a collective consciousness that is beneficial for everyone, that there is enough, that we can all not only survive but thrive, and that we are part of something bigger. It involves changing our thoughts. We move from primitive thinking to higher consciousness. Primitive thinking is all about survival, and it manifests as fear if you don't have enough. Fear, loss, don't have enough to survive. That's primitive. Of course we have plenty. Of course there is enough. There is abundance everywhere. People have homes and warmth and money and all of those things, and it is for everybody. We limit ourselves if we don't have it. If we change our thoughts to becoming aware now, then we can make changes that will show up in physical form, in the form of that abundance that we were talking about. You can align with changes that are happening in our biology, in astrology, in cosmology, in the magnetic field of the earth, in mathematics and chemistry. It was written in books, right? Chemical formulas are written in books. Mathematics is mathematics. The magnetic fields, north, south, it's all there, right? But it is changing. All of it is changing. Our biology is changing. The stars are moving. Everything is different to such a degree that we must evolve with it. We must align ourselves to the changes. And of course, some people fear change, right? They don't want to change. But it is impossible to stay stagnant. It is impossible. And so the more there is resistance, the less you are accepting of this new garment of light. We want spirituality to harmonize with our physical nature. We want to be in alignment with all that is, with everything possible, with all of the abundance, not scarcity, with no limitations. We want to be in alignment with that kind of thinking in order for it to manifest in our physical form. We want our spirituality to harmonize with our physical nature, and we want our physical nature to harmonize with our spirituality. There is a cosmic plan. We are guided by light beings. Now, how do we know this? Well, are you having any dreams that are interesting? Do you meditate? And are you inspired? Do you have ideas? Are you shown which way to go in some manner? You have a problem that needs solving, and all of a sudden the answer pops into your mind. Well, you are being guided by light beings. You can choose thoughts from a plethora of options when you discover that there are no limits. It is the limiting beliefs that remove the choices. As soon as you remove your limiting beliefs, you see that there are no limits, and of course you have many, many options. You want to travel to a particular place, or buy something in particular, or live in a particular place, you will find a way, because there are no limits. As long as you believe there are no limits, you will find a way. We have potential as universal beings. There is not just a here and a now. We can move forward and connect with the universe and all the beings of the universe. There is that potential. If we tap into nature and gifts, the gifts of nature, we are connected to a larger plan of awakening. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people who are in the process of awakening, and it feels very painful to some people because of resistance, because of limiting beliefs, because of failure to listen or to see a certain way. There is a bigger plan of awakening, and we are called to participate in that awakening. We're seeing more remote healing, not just hands-on healing, but a remote healing, a healing that happens even if we are not there, even if the light workers are not there and present in the physical space. We're doing astral travel. We're remembering who we are. We are tapping into quantum fields anywhere, anytime. You can meditate and be in another place in the world. You can physically, mentally, spiritually be somewhere else. Wow, it's a big concept, right? So what is our focus? Is our focus war? Bad news? What's wrong? Negativity or lack? Well, reading the paper, you might discover that. Watching the news, you might find that the focus is all that negative stuff, all that hard-to-hear stuff, and yet people are drawn to it. In the form of movies or news, people are drawn to disaster. They're drawn to war. They're drawn to action, right? What if your focus is balance? What if the focus becomes creating a new perspective? What if it becomes selective? Oh, I will do this, but not that. I will eat this, but not that. It feels better to me to sleep at this particular time or in this particular place, and not that. So you can be selective. If every day is a consciousness rebirth, how wonderful would that be? When you wake up in the morning and you say, I am new again. I am born again. I am aware, brand new for the first time today, every day. And this is also from the Book of Enoch. Mother Earth is a schoolhouse for the soul in order to evolve. The more we get trapped in the limiting beliefs, in the narrow focus of war, devastation, limits, negativity, and so forth, the more we get involved in that, the less we evolve. And so we're looking at an evolution of our physical form from Homo sapiens to Homo luminous, a being of light, or Homo universalis, a being of the universe. Vibration is proto-communication, the primitive form of communication, the first form of communication, the one from which everything else has been created. Our days are like music, constantly being created. There is a tremendous opportunity to find solutions. How many of us are focused on the problems and not the solutions, not open to solutions? Now here's where we really get to shine, is when we do the work collectively. If there are many of us focused on an outcome, focused on a solution, providing prayers and energy to that one outcome, when we work collectively with the higher vibrations, we begin to see results. This has been documented time and time again in the form of prayer, in the form of meditation, in the form of spiritual work, in distance healing. When more people get together, it changes the mass consciousness, and we are able to change the vibration and the outcome. We are part of a bigger understanding. We are living evolution. We are part of the change that is happening all around us. More and more people are becoming awakened. More and more people are feeling the vibration, are becoming sensitive, are empathic, are stepping into the path of a healer. We are also becoming more aware of interspecies communication. As an animal communicator and a psychic, I do this all the time. I speak with plants, I speak with animals, I hear them, I listen to them, I listen to crystals and what they are saying, because everything has a vibration. And it's amazing to hear what all of these different species and beings have to say. We are part of a journey in which other beings are supporting us and we are supporting them. It's a coexistence or co-help. There is a global ethic of who we really are. We are all connected. For us here in the United States, North America, Canada, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, all over the place. We are all connected. The beings of the ocean, the beings of the air, the beings of the land and under the earth, we are all connected. Why wouldn't we be? We're all made of the same thing. We all have vibrations. Why wouldn't we be connected? This vast awakening invites us to use our spiritual talents. There is a higher mind-body gift that we receive for a new direction. Are you developing your sensitivities? Are you developing your sensory intuition? Are you recording your dreams and experiences? Are you aware of the changes that are happening around you, the coincidences, as I like to call them. These are not coincidences. These are clues and hints and nudges that get us thinking more and get us out of our thinking brain as well and more into our experiential existence. We're not alone. You're not alone. You're not all by yourself. And we as a people are not alone. We have spiritual guides. We have beings around us who are the thought adjusters. They are adjusting our biochemistry, and we ourselves, receiving this divine wisdom, are becoming more like the thought adjusters. Thought adjusters, I encourage you to look it up as a term, as a spiritual term, and what you may gather from that is that the thought adjusters are the divine. The thought adjusters are God within us. And if we are God within us, if we are the expression of God and we are the embodiment of God, then we also become the thought adjusters. Now, this is a concept that I do not take lightly. This is a concept that is, once I got it, once I heard this and thought about it and wrote it down and pondered it quite a bit, I realized that in our awakening, in our transformation into recognizing our spiritual path, we accept the divine in us, and the divine becomes more ingrained, more embodied in us, if that is possible. And then we begin to effect change for others. So in what we say and what we do, we can become thought adjusters. What would it be like if there were a union of self and spirit? What would it be like if you were open, if we were all open to guidance? Spiritual guidance is what I'm talking about. What if we were hearing and seeing more? In fact, what if we were using all of our senses to develop our intuition at a greater rate and at a greater depth? What if we participated in the collective consciousness, working together for a better outcome? What if we were doing and saying things differently? What we say about money, what we say about our time and about our health and about others, what would it be like if we were to do all of these things? We could be a vehicle or a facilitator for the flow of energy. That's part of the healer's journey, right? You can work with vibration. I encourage you to attend any classes and workshops that we offer. Vibrational sound healing. We just had a vibrational sound healing class last weekend for phase 1 using solfeggio energy tuners to heal the etheric field. I'll be offering very soon the Somasonic series, which is an experience involving all types of tuning forks in an all-day workshop. You can find out more about that on my calendar. Of course, every month we have Reiki classes. Your journey from the foundation of hands-on healing to Reiki master teacher may involve stepping forward on your path, not only as a healer, but as a facilitator for other healers to become manifest in the world. Wouldn't it be nice? Our first series in Illumination Healing is called Illuminated Self, and my daughter and I will be teaching that in Portland and in Sedona. In Portland on October 7 and 8 and November 4. In Sedona, Arizona on October 27 through 29. I encourage you to go to illuminationreiki.com to learn more or to give either one of us a call. I would love to talk to you about it. It is not Reiki. Illumination healing is not Reiki. We are removing the prerequisites for taking Reiki 1 and 2 in order to experience the Illumination Healing program. We're very excited about being able to do that for you. Where will your path lead you? I always ask you, do you know where you're going? Well, you might not, but wouldn't it be nice if you had a little more light along the way? Illuminate yourself with spirit in order to illuminate humanity and step forward on the path as an illuminated healer. The best way to reach me is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com or illuminationreiki.com. You can also email me, rosemary@secondnaturehealing.com. Please register here on my webinar page in order to receive recordings directly in your mailbox so that you can hear all of the wonderful webinars we've done over the weeks. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.